We are going to talk about how this conflict interferes among the world. The majority part of the country decided to support Ukraine, except by Cuba, North Korea, Iran, and some African states that decided to support Russia. China is supporting both sides, the Ukrainian side because they have a good relationship with its economy, and the Russia side because they have a good relationship with its military. The state of Israel did the same thing. The majority part of the support from Ukraine is from United States and the European Union. The United States has sent $13 billion to the Ukrainian army, and an example of help from the European Union is that the Poland has sent 25% of its tanks to Ukraine. The Polish government argue is that if Ukraine falls down, Russia will invade Poland as well. Another country that is afraid of the Russian invasion is Finland. The Russian government has sent to Finland a threat alerting them to don't join in NATO. The problem between these two countries is related since the Winter War, when Finland humiliated the Russian army in the battlefield. A curiosity about this war is that the famous weapon named Molotov were invented there by the Finnish army. The name was given to it because the Finnish army was making fun from a name from a famous Russian politic. Nowadays, Russia is trying to stop Finland to enter in NATO, and the Finnish government is trying to do the possible to enter in this group to avoid a total war with Russia.
Involved also to the period when we are thinking what kind of choices we should make. Of course, there are many risks, and we have to be prepared for all kind of actions from Russia. And actually, when we have given the paper to the Finnish Parliament, we also analyzed these risks, hybrid threats, cyber attacks, different kind of influencing from Russia's side, and we are prepared different kinds of meaninglessness that would come from the Russian side. But I also think that we have to make the decisions by ourselves, not to have fear influence our choices. But there are different perspectives to apply NATO membership or not to apply, and we have to analyze all of these very carefully, as Magdalena said, and we will have the discussions within the Finnish Parliament upcoming weeks. But I think our process will be quite fast. It will happen in weeks, as I mentioned. Thank you so much.
Traveling around the world, we're going to talk about the Pacific. Russia and Japan have not a good relationship since the Russo-Japanese War, a war that a not European country defeated an European one, the first in history. The problem began more on fire in World War II when these two countries were in different sides. The problem is Russia and Japan have not signed a treaty of peace, so in theory they are in war since World War II. Russia has invaded the Kuril Islands, islands that belong to Japan. And the Russian government, with the Ukrainian invasion, decided to put missiles in these islands. In response, Japan is making a military exercise to show its power. The problem is that Japan has United States as its allies. So if Russia and Japan enters in a war, probably the United States will help Japan, and it will begin a nuclear war.